Hello everyone, welcome back. This is our seventh lecture, and in this lecture, we are going to study activity types on based of the relationship and activity relationship types. First of all, we will define activity types on based of the relationship. There are two types of the activity on based of the relationship: predecessor and the successor. Predecessor. What is predecessor? It is an activity which comes before another activity. We can say predecessor as independent activity. Successor. What is successor? It is an activity that must occur after another activity. We can say it dependent activity. So now we will discuss activity relationship types. Types of the relationship are important to understand. Choosing right type of the relationship between activity will help in developing a realistic project schedule. Also, you need a sound understanding of the relationship. If you need to compress a schedule, one of the schedule compression techniques involves changing the type of the relationship between the activities to fast track them. Types of the relationship. There are four types of the relationship in Primavera P6. First is finish to start, finish to finish, and start to finish. Finish to start. In finish to start relationship, start of the successor activity is controlled by finish of predecessor activity. For example, you can build foundation of building after you can have done execution, or you can test a software after you have developed it. In finish to start relationship, arrow originates from finish of the predecessor and finishes at start of the successor. Type of the relationship. Finish to start relationship doesn't mean that successor activity can only start after predecessor activity has finished. It only means that start of the successor activity is controlled by finish of predecessor activity. In finish start relationship, successor activity can start before the finish of the predecessor activity if lead is applied to successor. For example, you can start building foundation when 75% of execution are completed. You don't have to wait for complete execution to start your foundation. This type of the relationship is mostly used in schedule. If you are confused about exact relationship between the activities, then goes for the finish to start relationship. So now we will discuss start to start relationship. In start to start relationship, start of the successor activity is controlled by start of the predecessor activity. For example, when a project start, then project management activities are also started with it. Or you can start leveling of the concrete when pouring of concrete is started. Type of the relationship. Start to start relationship doesn't mean that successor activity can only start one predecessor activity has started. It only means that start of the successor activity is controlled by start of the predecessor activity. In start relationship, successor activity can start after the start of the predecessor activity if lead is applied to successor. For example, if construction of the walls and plaster on these wall are connected with start relationship, then start plaster some portion of the wall must have to be completed. Type of the relationship finish to finish. In finish to finish relationship, finish of successor activity is controlled by finish of predecessor activity. For example, you may want to finish columns with wall so that, or you may want to finish all testing of the software with writing of a software manual so that final software package can be handed over to the client. You can also you lag and lead in finish relationship if you want to finish successor activity before or after finish of the successor activity. Type of the relationship start to finish. In start to finish relationship, finish of successor activity is controlled by start of the predecessor activity. Example of the finish start relationship can be that you have an activity of floor tiles in your schedule, let's say activity A, and you create an activity of material approval process for this activity and connect it to activity A by start to finish. Now you will have start and finish date of this material approval process so that the process can be initiated on time. You have approved titles to start of tiling works. Welcome on Primavera P6 dashboard, and we are going to give the relationship of activities. This is our first activity, and here is the activity detail. Here is the column general status resources predecessor successor of this activity. Relationship column is missing, so now will add it. Click right click customize activity detail. Here we will add relationship, apply, and then OK. So we are going to give the relationship of this activities. This is our first activity. So for the first activity there is no predecessor, so we are going to add the successor of this activity. Assign successor of this activity is the second activity. Here is the project id, wbs activity id, activity name, relationship. We will give the relationship finish to start. So now we will give the relationship for second activity. For the second activity the predecessor is the first activity, so we will add successor. Survey is the successor of this activity. We will give the relationship finish to start. So for the survey similarly we will change the relationship. So we are adding. So similarly we can relationship all the activities in our project. We also change the activity duration. We will give the activity duration. So now we will schedule it, and this is showing the progress of our project. So similarly we can give the relationship of the activities. This was all about in this lecture. See you next time.